Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome or welcome back again to another video tutorial lesson from the Apex Predator Billiards Training Club. My name is Apex Elenio and we are back on the practice table once again to look at and execute another progressive ball pocketing drill. And this drill was a drill that was exposed to me a few months, or I should say quite a few months ago, by professional pool player Niels Fine, and also learned this from the YouTube channel Shortstop on Pool. Definitely channels that I recommend you watch as a upcoming pool player. Now this drill is what is known as a spot shot shooter's drill, where we spot an object ball right where you see the one ball is at the moment, and we pretty much pocket the ball from each diamond, both on the short rail and the side rail. For the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be doing half of the table, but it's very important that during your practice session you actually go right around the table, because that helps to train both sides of your brain when it comes to ball pocketing. So there you can see I have executed the first shot there, and usually that shot is very tough. We're going to be talking about a lot of things in this video as it relates to the shot making process, and we're going to be looking also at the ability to synchronize your fundamentals and with your shot making. We're going to be looking at the different we're going to be looking at this from a logical and analytical perspective, giving reasonable justification for success and failure during these shots. We're going to be slowing up some part of the video, and we're going to be speeding up some part of the video. So if this is the first time here on the channel, consider smashing that subscribe button below, turning on your post notification bell, consider dropping a like if the content is of any value to you, and do not forget to share this out to your pool community. So let's just jump right into where we are picking up on the second shot here. As you can see, the first shot was a success on my first attempt, but now we're going to be looking at pretty much the setup. The first part of what I want to talk about during the process of this drill is my setup. If you notice that I've been working on my channel, I've been teaching you a lot about the fundamentals, and of course my fundamentals is something that I really spend a lot of time on. I don't spend enough time on it, but I've spent a lot of time on it, where at this point where you see I'm at, where I have this what I would almost call a perfect setup. It took years, it took a surmountable amount of time to get to this level, to have the patience to pocket object balls like what you just saw there. That was a beautiful shot there. Now another thing I want to mention to you is the fact that we're going to be looking at also the position play. Where does the cue ball go after pocketing tough shots like these? And I'm also going to be showing you how I calculate cut angles when I'm actually in a game. So for the first two shots that I just played here, those were 45-degree distance cut shot. And mathematically speaking here, as you're moving to the left and right of the center diamond, then the cut angle is going to decrease by approximately 7.5 degrees. So right now we're looking at a 37.5-degree cut shot here. This is almost a half ball cut on the object ball here. And notice now how cleanly I am stroking the cue ball, but I missed a couple of those shots simply by one common denominator. The common denominator is there could be some sort of slight movement in the back arm, or during the forward stroke motion I could perhaps delay a little bit on the stroke, or just simply not stroking the cue ball as smooth as I can there. So notice that even though I'm missing the shots, I'm not cutting out certain aspects of the video. I'm actually showing you the success and the failures. So those two shots that were just missed moments ago, notice that they missed but barely. And notice I'm also playing on a 4-inch tight pocket table with a old cloth there. Alright, nicely pocketed. The third time was a charm there. And of course, as I said guys, these shots are shots that comes up in your 9-ball, 10-ball and 8-ball game at the most crucial and critical point, when that can cause you to either win a rack or lose a rock. All right, now as I mentioned to you earlier that mathematically speaking, as you go to the left and right of the center diamond, you're decreasing by 7.5 degrees approximately. So right now, funny enough guys, this here is what is known as a 30-degree cut shot, spot shot. All right, and literally this is just like a half ball cut, and this cue ball here will just pocket that 3 ball nicely. I did have an extra bit of topspin on that because I literally supposed to catch the top side of the side pocket there, but the aim and the focus of this drill is to focus primarily on your fundamentals, the delivery of your fundamentals, and of course pocketing the object ball and keeping a mental observation of the cue ball's path. Now here we have reached to the side rail, and now I'm shooting off the rail, and it's going to get a bit tougher. Funny enough that a lot of person will think that the closer you get to the object ball, the easier the shot, when in fact, yes, that could be deemed as correct, but it depends on if you're shooting off the rail or you're shooting very close to the rail there. That was a nice execution first time there on that shot. But notice now that I'm gonna come around to the second diamond, and notice that when you're doing this drill guys, do not put the cue ball adjacent to the diamond, but put the cue ball above the diamond you're shooting from at a diagonal angle. Okay, because you're going to be relatively close to the shot you played previously, which is not going to increase the degree of the cut. It is just simply going to be relatively the same sort of shot, but with a bit of repetition. So now I'm down on this shot here, and I want you to pay attention to a couple of things throughout this video. I want you to pay attention to my shot routine. Right, that's going to be a common denominator when it comes to me missing and making the shot. Now there you can see how badly I missed that shot. I overcut, and a logical and reasonable justification for that miss, and which again you're gonna see I missed the shot again. You're gonna see that it's not so much that has to do with my stroke in motion, but it has to do with the proximity of my cue to my body and the hesitance and the deliberate slow movement of the backstroke into the forward stroke to pocket the object ball. I think I'm going to be successful on this shot, but mostly I have to attribute the success and failure to my fundamentals and my setup. My setup is very important to how it is that I execute every shot. Now if you notice that throughout the whole entire video, that most of the successful shots that have been played, I simply always go around to take a look at the contact spot on the object ball, and I seem to always go back and try to pocket the object ball cleanly. There you can see that I had 3 unsuccessful attempts at pocketing that 5, and the moment that I went and pick a spot again back on the 5 to find the cutting angle and the contact spot, I immediately had success, even though it barely got into the pocket, but it was successfully deposited into the pocket. So notice again, I'm going through my entire shot routine there. I did went around, I look at the shot here, and then I found the angle, and now you can see I'm just taking my time going through my entire process of my shot routine here. I'm taking a couple of warm-up strokes, and I must tell you that over time I have developed the ability to use the pause stroke, or the pause in my stroke. Now we are not yet at the segment of the video where I'm going to be talking about my rhythmic stroke, but I want you to notice right here and now that in most of these shots I'm taking 6 to 7 back and forward strokes, then I pause, then I release, and I'm going to show you that in the latter part of the video. Now I'm at the part of the video now where I'm going to be playing a tough shot, and funny enough here, look at, I'm just pulling up a couple of replays here for you, and if you notice here that the denominator, or the common denominator in me missing this shot here, is number 1, the cue ball is very close to the pocket here. Notice there that even the cue ball jumped a little bit, not the cue ball and the object ball jumped a little bit, and there was so much power in pocketing that object ball. Definitely you don't want to overpower these shots when it comes to that. Now what I should have done is that I should have actually played a follow shot first, but I tried to play a stop shot, so I just decided that, hey, why not get some success, pocket this ball with follow, and then return to actually trying to pocket the ball by stopping it. Now here is a segment where you're going to see a couple of missed shots, and what you're going to see, I'm going to justify the reason for the miss. Number one, notice how I went into the shot with an angle. That's one of the things that you're not supposed to do when you have a tough shot like this. Notice the setup that I'm showing you here on the screen previously to when I had missed the shot. I'm now angled in to the shot here. Notice how smooth the stroke was there and how smooth I delivered the cue there, right? Just to stop the ball. The setup previously compared to the setup now, you can see that there's a significant difference in the setup. One, I went into the shot with an angle, and the second one, I went in with an angle, but I adjusted slightly. Now again, notice that here I am trying to draw the cue ball, and notice here, taking a nice smooth stroke here, and here you're going to see an application of a bit too much power that I'm not able to control. Boom, missed that shot there. Notice now you see that bend in the cue slightly there. That is the application of too much power that I'm not able to control. Again, I spot the ball there, and watch again. I've found a contact spot on the 7. I went in with an angle, and I'm making a slight adjustment because of the bad space where I don't have enough space to form a proper bridge. But once again, notice that I'm digging down into the cue ball, and again, if you compare the image that you're seeing there and what I have now, you can see that there's a far steeper angle. There's a far steeper angle in terms of my setup, and that is what caused cue ball here to jump, because I had too much power and I'm actually digging down into the cue ball with too much angle. Again, here you're gonna see another missed shot, I believe. There, that was again too much power. Notice that it was a nice stroke. It wasn't so much. Notice that the setup here that you're seeing on the screen is far steeper. This one is a lot better, but because of the power, notice right there that the cue ball hopped into the 7 and the 7 hopped into the pocket, and that is what causes the miss there. All right, so any little one thing, guys, it's the subtlest of things that you can add to your stroke that will cause you to miss or make the shot. And there again, you can see horrible miss there. It was actually way too much power there on that shot. And again, I'm just gonna run this past you here. I missed again. So notice here, I'm not cutting out anything out of the video. I'm taking you through the entire process. The video actually took me 21 minutes. Well, the drill actually took me 21 minutes to get around to the end rail here. Took me 21 minutes to get here. But the point and the fact of the matter is, I want you to see both the success and the failures. Now notice here that the cue ball is a bit more off the side pocket. I have a more rhythmic stroke, a more smooth, and notice how I get effective draw. Notice how I stroke the cue ball properly, and notice how the 7 ball went into the bucket nicely there. And also notice that I stayed down on my shot. Even after the ball was pocketed, I did not raise my head. I waited until the cue ball passed my cue right there, and then I rose above the shot. That's also another component of the stroke that I used to struggle with. Occasionally I still do, but I'm very much aware of what I'm actually doing when it comes to playing those kind of shots. Alright, so guys, I hope you're taking in tune all these little points that I'm giving you here. Crazy knowledge. I've been practicing a lot. This drill is something that I've been successful with off camera, but I wanted to do it for you to let you know that, hey, you're gonna have success and you're gonna have failures when it comes to this shot here. Now these kind of shots, pardon me. Now we are approaching the segment where I want to kind of pinpoint and focus mainly on the rhythmic backstroke and forward stroke of my shot routine. Notice that in every shot, and the common denominator is that I am always trying to find the shot line, and I'm not taking any shot for granted. Now, what you're going to be seeing here is a shot missed simply by a mental error. Alright, and this is something that happens to us a lot. Whenever we get down to play a particular shot, we tend to try to pick a spot that we want the cue ball to head to, and then we lose focus on the putting angle. So here I distracted myself, and this is a reasonable justification for the miss. I actually overcut the ball, and that is as a result of me putting a 1 ball and a 9 ball, an object ball down here, because I know based on a system that I actually learned from world artistic pool champion Ralph Eckert. I learned about the reference shot when cutting directly from the spot at a 45-degree angle, both into the side and into the corner. The cue ball always will track towards the second diamond in the other half of the table. So I was actually just kind of demonstrating it for you in the video. That wasn't a really bad miss, but here is where we get successful. Notice that in the initial setup of this particular shot, I knew that the cue ball had to head in between the 9 and the 1, right where the second diamond is. So notice how cleanly the shot was putted, and notice the position play of the cue ball. That's very important, that when you're doing this drill, not only are you just going to perhaps say I'm gonna pop the ball, but you have to be mentally, you have to prepare yourself to visually remember where the cue ball is going on certain shots. Now notice here that I also put a 9 ball here, because this also is a system that I created to predict the cue ball's path after cutting a ball into the side to come off 2-3 cushions. I know that the cue ball always ends up with topspin here. It always ends up somewhere near above the second diamond on the same side of the table you're shooting from. So that was unsuccessful there, just simply by just a bit of pause in the stroke there. Could be any little thing that's happening in the back arm. But now you see I have a successful shot here, and notice that the cue ball follows the exact path that I had predicted that it's going to go. Alright, so I hope you guys are getting some value and some knowledge from this video. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button, guys, and like the video. Turn up the like button, guys. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this drill. I hope you actually go on the table and you practice it, and you try to get as successful as you can. You can do a race, time yourself to see how fast you can complete it, but I kind of want you to kind of focus mainly on completing the drill and going through the entire process of the shot routine. Shot routine is also a video that is coming up on my channel. We're going to be talking about the fundamentals of the shot routine, because that too contributes so much towards your shot making ability. All right, so here we go, guys. Here's where we're going to be talking about my rhythmic backstroke here. And I mentioned it earlier that, hey, in the rhythmic backstroke, I take about 6 or 7 backstroke and forward stroke, then I pause, then I release. Now I can know when I'm going to miss a shot. I tend to overstroke the cue ball, or what I would say that I tend to take too much warm-up strokes or pre-strokes. That's what they would call it. So on a shot that I missed, I'm going to highlight it to you there. I took about 11 or 12 backstroke. Nice shot there into the side pocket. I did actually miss it the first time though. But normally whenever I'm playing a tough shot like what you're going to be seeing here, I'm going to miss this shot. Watch me count the amount of backstroke in this failure, and then watch the amount of strokes in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pause, release. That's a mental error. That's a mental error in terms of my normal shooting routine. Now watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I pause, and then I made the shot. Is that to say that the less stroke you have is the better? No. For years, I've always been shooting within a range of 6 to 9 strokes. And when I want to be extremely precise, I take about at maximum 9 or 10. And when I'm really comfortable, I take 6 or 7, then I pause and shoot. So notice there I missed simply because I was rushing the shot. I took approximately 9, but I rushed the shot. But notice now how many strokes I'm going to take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a little extra there. And then I shoot and release. A couple of those short strokes were just to double check to make sure that I'm comfortable in the back arm. But here you can see, guys, it was a nice drill. Thank you for watching. Do take care until next time. This is Apex Lenio, and I will continue to practice, and I will continue to do well with you and teach you all valuable lessons that you need to become a consistent player. Apex Predator Billiards Training Club aims to give every player an equal opportunity to become consistent, accurate, precise, and of course become a better player. Do take care until next time. Signing out. Peace.